Vision, I've been on TV constantly for 20 years.
Doing good things.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's
talking
about
celebration.
Money. Talking about
you must have made so much of it.
A part of it has been talking about money. But let me say a bit. 70% of it has been talking about money.
And you have made a lot of it too.
I don't know.
Congratulations, girl.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I won't be part of the celebration, but I hope you keep my cake.
I'll keep your cake.
Thank
the
you.
cake
Congrats.
will go round.
Congrats, girl.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for being a good colleague too. Fantastic colleagues over the years. It's been so nice. Across, you know, my sojourn, 20 years on TV, 40 years, it's really been so surreal. Thank you, guys. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.
All right, let's take it away. Before we go into the birthday celebrations and all of that, I have to keep you up to speed with what's happening in the economy. Today, we will be talking on the CBN non-interest interventions. If you've been following the news in the last few days, I think the CBN announced the policy on the 23rd of July. So I'll be shedding more light on that today. My guest will be joining me in a bit. I can already see him on the video wall. Dr. Bashir is trying to get himself ready. Dr. Bashir will be coming to you in a bit. We'll be talking about the non-interest intervention by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Dr. Bashir Aliyu Umar is the Deputy Chairman, Financial Regulation Advisory Council of Experts, CBN. So he will be joining me after the break. Let's quickly take a break. We'll be right back. But before we go on a break, don't forget that you can join us on all our social media channels. Join us on Facebook, on Twitter, we are there, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. Which other social media haven't I called? On YouTube, yes. Go to our YouTube channel right now and just go to YouTube. Type Moneyline with Nancy TV. Follow us there, subscribe to the page. If I'm not on TV, you get to see a whole lot more resource on YouTube to follow us. So don't forget to subscribe. Also click that notification button. Let's quickly take this break. We'll be right back. And when I come back, Dr. Bashir Aliyu Umar will be joining me. Let's quickly take this break.
The house that you have not built, you can't live in it. At best, you live in it in your imagination. Countries that are as big as we are, I don't want to compare Nigeria with United Arab Emirates and use Dubai example. Oh, people are quick to say, oh, the population there. Let's look at countries where the country that have exported COVID-19 to the rest of the world, the country called China. China economy is reviving gradually. You know why? Because China understood that the game changer for last century and which will extend to this century, whether we all go online or not, you are still going to need a lapel mic for this program to hold. Whether we go online or not, people are still going to turn on their YouTube via their phone, which is produced in China, or their television, part of which is produced in China and in Japan. So they understood that National Bureau of Statistics in Nigeria is saying 80% of all our import are manufactured goods. And what matters is how they are going to make Nigeria to depend on them. So Nigerian government should change direction from, it is good we are focusing on agriculture, but agriculture can be done in mechanized way. If you are not doing mechanized agriculture, it's just research.
The reality is that there's 75% of the population. They don't even have to follow or go with the beat of the older generation. But the reality is resources. Resources are in the hand of the older generation. And whoever dictates the money in a democracy also who pays the piper dictates the tune. But we have to be in tune with our own generational challenge. This is the problem I have with the 75 to 2000 generation. I still see on social media and in various fora that we continue to fight the battles of yesterday. We continue to fight the battles of Nigerian remaining one or Nigerian being a democracy. Our own challenge of our generation is how to make Nigeria rich. We have a huge problem in our hands. Our challenge before COVID was job creation. Our challenge after COVID is job creation. So the challenge of our generation, the generation 75 to 2000, is how do we make Nigeria rich? How do we ensure that Nigerian youths have job? How do we make sure the generation after us do not come to cut off our heads because they don't have anything to do? So we need to focus on our own generational problem instead of trying to fight the battles of our grandfathers and our fathers. The reality is that there's 75% of the population. They don't even have to follow or go with the beat of the older generation. But the reality is resources. Resources are in the hand of the older generation, and whoever dictates the money in a democracy also who pays the piper dictates the tune. But we have to be in tune with our own generational challenge. This is the problem I have with the 75 to 2000 generation. I still see on social media and in various fora that we continue to fight the battles of yesterday. We continue to fight the battles of Nigerian remaining one or Nigerian being a democracy. Our own challenge of our generation is how to make Nigeria rich. We have a huge problem in our hands. Our challenge before COVID was job creation. Our challenge after COVID is job creation. So the challenge of our generation, the generation 75 to 2000, is how do we make Nigeria rich? How do we ensure that Nigerian youths have jobs? How do we make sure the generation after us do not come to cut off our heads because they don't have anything to do? So we need to focus on our own generational problem instead of trying to fight the battles of our grandfathers and our fathers.
All right, welcome back to the program. In case you're just joining us, it's time for our conversation right now. I did say earlier that we'll be looking at the CBN non-interest interventions, especially as the country is battling a COVID-19 pandemic. My guest is joining me right now, Dr. Bashir Aliyu Umar, Deputy Chairman, Financial Regulation Advisory Council of Experts at the Central Bank of Nigeria. Hello, Dr. Bashir, and thanks for joining me on the program today. Yes, Dr. Bashir, can you hear me?
Yeah, it is breaking, Nancy. I hear a word and then
okay.
Yes,
okay,
I can hear you now.
Okay. Dr. Bashir, just quickly explain to our viewers what the motive behind the CBN intervention concerning non-interest finance is all about.
Sorry, I can't hear you, Nancy.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it comes on and off.
Okay. Let me ask the question again to see if you can hear me. Talk to us about the CBN interventions for non-interest finance.
I can't hear. I didn't get the question. I can't hear you.
I hope you can unmute your audio. Unmute your audio so that you can hear me. Can you hear me now?
No, I can't.
Okay. Doctor, can you take off your earpiece? Yes. Can you take off your earpiece? Good. So can you hear me now?
No, I can't. I can't hear you.
Okay, let's quickly take a break and we'll try as much as possible to sort that out. Let's quickly take a break. We'll be right back. Hello YouTubers, welcome to Moneyline with Nancy TV YouTube channel. This is where we provide you with instructive business directions, processes and guidance to help you assess the right resources to fund your businesses to withstand every form of internal and external shock. You will find here awesome informative videos on business, entrepreneurship and lifestyle just to help you make informed business and financial decisions. Punch the subscribe button and let us drive you through the world of business. Please follow all our social media platforms on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and follow us for latest updates on our website. All right, welcome back. Let's try and see if we can connect with Dr. Bashir again. Dr. Bashir, are you there and can you hear me now? I really wonder what is happening. Okay, let's try. Dr. Bashir, are you there? Hello, Dr. Bashir.
Yes, Nancy.
Okay, I think we will take Dr. Bashir by phone so that he can actually hear me. That's one of the side effects of technology. Like they say, this is the new normal we need to get used to, especially perhaps the power of infrastructure is not as much as we want it to be. Let's quickly take a break again. Let's set up with Dr. Bashir. We'll be right back. we've been having some issues. Dr. Bashir is joining me right now on the phone lines. Dr. Bashir, welcome. You're joining us from Kano. Let's quickly speak about the CBN interests, non-interests financial intervention. Speak to my viewers about it. What is it about?
Yeah, good morning, Nancy. Thank you for receiving me. The CBN non-interest intervention is a version of the intervention funds that have been introduced by the CBN to foster the growth of the real sector of the economy and to reposition Nigeria's economy. But since issuing guidelines on non-interest banking, which was done as in 2011, and the first non-interest banks were licensed, there is the realization that the growing number of customers of these non-interest banks who have an aversion to dealing with interest-based financing have not benefited from the intervention schemes. And these intervention schemes, they became skewed against a particular section of the country. And in the quest of the CBN to have even developmental growth in the country, the idea came with the idea of introducing the non-interest versions of the intervention schemes came. And it started with the Commercial Agriculture Credit Scheme in 2018. The guidelines were issued, and realizing that the guidelines, when they were issued, access to finance for commercial agriculture increase in those parts of the country where there was aversion to interest, that made the management of the CBN to take a decision that all versions of intervention schemes shall have a non-interest version in order to ensure higher degree of financial inclusion and also engender even growth and even development in the country.
Okay, Dr. Bashir, the CBN released guidelines for this, and they launched a total of 11 interventions. When I took a look at it, those interventions are still existing. They're existing, the Accelerated Development Program, Anchor Borrowers Program, the intervention for textiles and all of that. So what's making this a bit different?
Yeah, the main difference is that people who were not accessing the financing schemes because of they are being interest-based now have got an option. There is an alternative. So this will mean a higher level of financial inclusion, because as you know, access to finance has been very low for the SME for the SME subsector, which was the key determination of the CBN to introduce these intervention schemes. Now with this, with the non-interest version, it is only increasing the access to finance for the SMEs in the country.
Okay. How do normal commercial banks also participate in this? So for those that have interest in non-interest banking, is it that also the conventional commercial banks, perhaps if they have Sharia compliant desk, they can also be part of this? People can go into those conventional banks and be part of this intervention. Is that an option?
Yeah, definitely is an option, because the participating financial institutions for these non-interest schemes are non-interest banks that are full-fledged non-interest, and also windows of commercial banks that are offering the non-interest financial products. You have a number of commercial banks that have got windows, and they are licensed by the CBN to offer these products. They also form part of the participating financial institutions for offering these products, the non-interest versions.
Okay. The question is that on some of these interventions now, because of the pandemic, the central bank has reduced the interest rate from 9% to 5%. Does it mean that because it's non-interest, that 5% will not count? Are they supposed to pay interest on it?
No, there is no interest. The only, but there is a return. The same percentage return accrues for the non-interest as for the interest, but instead of that return being based on a loan contract between the CBN and the financial institutions on one hand, and between the financial institutions and the beneficiaries on the other hand, the contracts now, they are contracts of sale or lease, or contracts of profit sharing that will generate a profit, either in the form of a markup in a sale transaction, or in the form of a rental in a lease transaction, or in the form of a portion of profit in a profit sharing arrangement. So it does not mean that these funds will be accessed at 0% return. No, these funds will be advanced to financial institutions based on CBN approved contracts for non-interest financial institutions, and these contracts, they generate a return. Okay. So the return will be treated just like the return is the percentage amount of the return is exactly the same as the percentage amount of the interest. The only thing is that this is not an interest transaction.
Okay, finally, what's the eligibility criteria for those that are watching right now want to be part of this? How can they be part of it?
The eligibility is basically the same for both the interest-based interventions and the non-interest-based interventions. So it's just a matter of choice. And as the CBN guidelines are very clear, there is no discrimination in offering services by non-interest banks. So there is anybody who wants to access the funds based on this alternative arrangement. If he's a Nigerian and he satisfies the same condition, the same eligibility criteria for all the funds, then he is free to approach any of the participating financial institutions and then apply for the loan, apply for the financing. Sorry, it's not a loan, it's a financing.
All right, Doctor, thank you very much for speaking with me. We'll do this again sometime because the network did not allow us to have enough time, but I promise our viewers. Thank you for watching our video. Please hit the subscribe button below, turn on post notification to follow all our updates.